Alright, this is going to be lesson one. Right. Obliques. Today I'm going to show you how to train your obliques properly. Now, obliques are, in my opinion, some of the most underappreciated muscles. Or they're undertrained, I should say. Some of those undertrained muscles. And they are actually pretty important. Give me a second, leave my notes. Functions. Got my notes with me. Now, disclaimer. Training your obliques are not going to make your hips wider. No, training your obliques are not going to make your... It's not going to make them bigger. You're not going to get a blocky waist. That's false. That's lies. It's fiction. That's not true. It's not true at all. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to train your obliques the proper way. This is the only video you'll ever need, by the way, so you don't need to watch any of this, because it's my video. Why you should, in fact, train your obliques. By training them and being in a low body fat percentage, so you have to do both. Then it will slim your waist, making you look much more shredded, especially if you're in a calorie deficit. Also, having those deep cuts in the side of your abs really helps complete the whole look of like your toned ab look. It'll really make you look better. Really make your abs pop more. You know, it's like it makes sense because your obliques are literally pointing towards your abs. You know, it's kind of like arrows pointing. Like, look at this. You know, look at me. Now, in addition to looking good, it's also strengthening your core, which is going to help you with other exercises like deadlifts, squats, stuff like that. And really creates more of a snowball effect. By strengthening one group of muscles, you're going to strengthen another group, which will make it much easier to train your whole body. All right. Now that being said, abs and obliques are not the same thing. They're not. They're two different muscle groups. They both make up the core, but they're two different muscle groups. Okay, so training obliques and abs are very different. Ab exercises are very forward and backward motion. Think crunches, sit-ups, where you're going forward, backward. V-ups, crunches, sit-ups. You're going forward and backward, like in that movement. You know, those are single directional exercises. Obliques are different because they are actually made for rotation. So the exercise that you do for obliques, you're going to want to rotate sort of your torso and your bottom half of your body. All right, now obliques are made to be that way. They're made to be omnidirectional. Now I'm going to explain the obliques. All right, there are actually two parts to your obliques. There's the external and the internal. The external connects from your mid-rib cage to the top of your hips, and those muscles point downwards to your waist. Think of like holstering a gun, where the tip of the gun is pointing, is down. That's the direction your obliques are in, the external ones. Your internal obliques, while you can't see them, are just below the external ones, and they point upwards. So think if you had a sword on your hip, the hilt is pointing up in the direction that the internal obliques would be. It's going to be pointing up towards your chest. It's how they work together that makes training them so unique. All right, and they actually have multiple functions. There are many functions to them. Spinal flexion. Think it's helping you stand up. Like you even right now, you're using your muscles to just stand, or if you're sitting watching the video. Lateral flexion, which is bending over or side to side, like moving like that. The rotation of your trunk or lower waist area. That is another function of it. There's two more that most people don't know about. It is posterior pelvic tilt and drawing in the abdomen, bringing the belly button towards the spine in a more posterior position. In terms of their anatomy, they're equipped to do this because of the direction of the muscle fibers. The diagram I showed before, right here. Now, why train obliques? Like I said before, it helps strengthen your core, making other exercises like squats and deadlifts go much smoother. All right, it's going to make them much easier. It's also going to reduce the risk of injury. So that's why you really want to train them. All right. And it's literally your spine. Your core is the most important muscle in your whole body. In fact, you use that for anytime you make any movement, from running, lifting weights, to throwing anything. That's your core. Now that we've established what the obliques do, it's time to find the best exercises. We need to find the best exercises that implement all of the previous functions: the rotation, the pelvic tilt, and the spinal flexions. Alright, so like I said, you're going to want to do some of these exercises. Now first is going to be hanging leg raises, my personal favorite. You're going to want to rotate your lower body while keeping your upper half steady. You can start by doing this in the captain's chair and working your way up to knee raises and then fully extended leg raises. Alright. Number 2 is going to be Russian twists. Keep your legs stable. Remember, the function of the obliques is rotation. So try to put all the stress on your core while rotating your torso. Drive your elbow back behind you, and then you can use a kettlebell to progressively overload. Number 3 is going to be bicycle crunches. First, get into position. Make sure your lower back is touching the ground in a posterior pelvic position. Draw on your abdomen, bring your belly button close to your spine, and make sure to keep the posterior pelvic position while doing the exercise. And number 4, last of all, is going to be side plank crunches. Regular side planks are isometric that don't really give you that twisting motion you want. So when you do side plank crunches, remember, put the stress on your core, really tapping into those lateral muscles by moving side to side. Now, as for frequency, they should be trained in about 3 or 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps. About 4 times a week, that should be good. But if you would like to train your abs more often, you're welcome to do so. However, the more sessions you do, the more cautious you should be when choosing other exercises that will call on your abs for stability, like squats and deadlifts. So just be aware of that. Alright, now you have the exercises. Now you know how to properly train your obliques and how they work, and build a more stable core and make other exercises 10 times easier. Until next time, guys. See ya.